Welcome to Rock Talks. Today we're talking to Andrew Virrueta, singer and guitar player of Interloper. We discuss the beginning and evolution of the band, their upcoming studio album Search Parody, and what it's like to tour with Michael Keene from the Faceless. Hi
What?
Andrew, how are you? Thank you so much for your time. Welcome to Rock Talks.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's get right into the music. I was listening to Interloper a lot during these days. And of course, it's a progressive metal band, but it sounds pretty much like a death metal band meets power metal, maybe because of the keyboards,
Ah,
right?
interesting.
And yeah, and maybe here and there a little bit of gent, maybe I'm too crazy. I don't know. But my question is, how do you define the sound of Interloper? Because it's not, it doesn't sound like a typical metal band. That's my point.
Got you. Yeah, man. I think I think that it's important. I think it's important not to define it. Just because just like, your perception of it is so different from mine, and it's like you might be thinking those things because you might like that mixture, but if I say explicitly like what I'm going for, I think maybe it would like kind of make people perceive it differently, which I don't want. I just want people to take from the music what they want to take. So I think leaving it as being a progressive metal band is what I'd like to leave it as.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, please tell me what are the main influences then.
yeah, for sure, man. So I like uh, I like a lot of progressive metal. That's for sure. Um, I
What
definitely
bands?
in the metal realm, I definitely enjoy a lot of death metal. That's like mostly what I really dig. Um, but when I was younger and like had a thirst for learning and just like getting my instrument you know as mastered as I could get it at the time. I ended up getting into a lot of progressive metal, and that's kind of what stuck in my blood and in my writing. So I would say a big influence for me would be Between the Buried and Me. That's one of my favorites. The Great Misdirect, that album and Colors are very influential and are deeply seated in my writing, I think. Um,
Hmm.
Also, I would say Opeth for sure is a really really high up there band for me.
Yeah,
Um,
one can tell the music of the Interloper. Yeah.
right on, man. Yeah,
Mhm.
I try not to wear the influence too up on my sleeve, so to speak. But
Mhm.
um, I sometimes you just can't help it, but be influenced by the music that you love.
Yeah, as long as it's a natural process, I think it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Mhm. And what about other kinds of music that are not metal that you got influenced when you're writing songs?
Yeah. When it comes to like vocal melodies and stuff, I like a lot of like shoegaze music and like I guess electronic pop stuff, like dark pop, I guess is what it is considered. Maybe I don't know, but there's a group called Churches
Hmm.
that I really really love. Washed Out is a really really high up there band for me as well. Um, Tame Impala is another one that I dig. Yeah, man. There's a bunch of stuff. Oh, there's
Yeah.
another one called The Horrors that I really like.
Hmm. That's
Yeah,
great. I think that when the influences for a musician are really broad, it's for the best, right?
absolutely, absolutely, man. I think that if you soak yourself into the music that you or if you soak yourself into the genre of music that you make, I think it breeds a little bit less creativity and less risk taking.
Hmm. And you're gonna repeat yourself over and over again.
What was that?
and you will repeat yourself
Oh,
over and over again.
yes, absolutely. And
Hmm.
we don't like that. I don't like
Oh
that.
no, especially in the world of metal.
Yes, dude, exactly. It's like, that's one of the worst things. And
Yeah,
what's funny about that too is like, um, I think it's one of the worst things, but I feel like when a band does change, the fans usually like are repulsed by it and don't like it, you know? Which is
yeah, they suck.
yeah, that's what I think too, man. That's exactly what I think.
Yeah, we have to stay open minded, you know. And
Absolutely.
if you think a little bit about that, the bigger bands all over the world, all over the history of metal, are the ones that actually experiment the most and try different things at different times, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And another point is like I think that it's important like when you're a fan of a band, I think it's important to grow and like develop with that band that you like from album to album,
Mm-hmm.
um, even if like it might be a little bit out of your scope of what you like, maybe that's an opportunity for you to um, open your mind a little wider and like learn to enjoy it or learn to appreciate um, this new exploration.
Totally agree with you. So you're the main songwriter for Interloper, right?
I am not. I mean, I think it's pretty fairly split between Miles and I.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
so I will write whole songs or near whole songs and then bring it to the guys and we'll rearrange. Miles will write nearly whole songs and then we'll rearrange that kind of thing. And then sometimes Miles and I both will collaborate together and sometimes Aaron and I will collab together and you know, arrange stuff um, together. So it really depends, but yeah, man, we all have our stakes in the writing process.
That's great. So it's pretty much like a group effort.
Yeah, man, and that's a really special thing, I think, uh, because it teaches you to it teaches you to work with others and their ideas that wouldn't come naturally to you,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
which can be hard, and it was difficult uh, for us, definitely. Um, having opposing visions on some things and whatever. But I think it was for the better, and I think we learned about each other in a deeper way. And I don't think anything but good has come from it.
Mhm. Why isn't there a bass player for the band? Mhm.
um, we just haven't found one yet, man. That's really it.
Really?
Yeah, I really want a bass player. We all really want a bass player. And we hired one of our good buddies to track bass on the record.
Oh,
Um, and he did an amazing job, but I want somebody to do that in a live setting, and I want somebody to write with at some point. you know it's just that things move pretty quickly, and they did move pretty quickly when it came to um, getting the album written and getting all of these moves that we needed to make made, uh, and there just wasn't time really up until this point to look for somebody.
mhm.
So I definitely there's definitely a bass player in Interloper's future. It's just not now, I guess. But we are looking. So if you know anybody,
Here, Lima, sure.
yeah, dude.
I will pay for the flight ticket.
Yeah.
Well, I asked that because I thought it was like a trend for because the Faceless doesn't use a bass player even for the shows, and now we see you with Interloper doing the same thing. And there are a couple of or a bunch of other bands doing that too. They're playing without a bass player, so it was maybe like, hey, this may be like a trend in death metal nowadays, but that's not the case of your band.
No, it's definitely not the case in our band, and I definitely do think that it. Here's the thing, man. It's like we have the means, we have the ability now to backtrack a whole rhythm section instrument, you know, and it's for bands and musicians. If you're low on the totem pole, so to speak, and you know you don't have much money and you can't afford to like pay another person, you could barely afford to live on your own doing what you're doing, you know, that's an option. And so I don't um I don't look down on people that don't have bass players uh live. But you know, I think it's such a valuable and important instrument. um
Oh
just
yeah.
the approach of a bass player to a song, the way that they write bass parts, the way that they write their own sections of whatever is so unique and different to what a guitar player would write. And I think that's a very special perception to have over the music. um and it's not to be disrespected, you know. So
Oh, I was just asking the question. No pun intended.
yeah, man, but we definitely want a bass player. So
Maybe like a super technical bass player for your band will be a good fit. Like the one from Suffocation, right? Derek,
dude,
right?
yeah, Derek, yep.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. No, yeah, that's exactly what we want is somebody who can keep up, you know.
Yeah.
But
Actually play notes, not
yeah,
following
but
the guitar.
I think more importantly than the technical ability, I want that person to be able to write music very well, and
Mm.
um, that's way more important to me
Oh yeah,
personally.
I agree. So let's hope for the best in the future. Looking for a bass player.
Yes, that's right.
Maybe you can call Jason Newsted. He
Yeah, dude.
he's he's not playing music nowadays. Anyway, are you going to stay as the singer of the band? Because in previous records and videos, I saw another guy, but the current stuff, you are there singing, right?
Yes. Um, yeah, we things weren't really working out with him. Um, and they Aaron and Miles asked me if I could replace him, and I told them yes. I didn't really I mean, I had a choice, but the thing is that at the time that we decided to do that, we had so much on our plate that we needed to like achieve and get done,
Hmm.
and we couldn't risk finding a complete stranger and
Mm.
trusting them with all of our music to learn it and write for it. Um, so you know, I was the one that was the best fit, I guess. So just because you know I already had on the EP, even like I had songs on there that I sang on my own, like sections of songs that I sang on my own and stuff. Or that's all of me actually, but I'm thinking of the pre-pro. On the pre-pro, what was happening was Mike was singing mainly, and then I would have my own sections, and then now it's just all me.
Mm.
So
Well, you guys did a great choice. So congratulations.
thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Plus, it sounds much more brutal because you're doing a lot of guttural voices, right?
Yeah, yeah, dude. You know, when we had Mike in, I think we we kind of felt like our mentality was that we wanted singing over everything,
Mm.
and I think that was a mistake in the
Mm.
writing process because you know once you like make a decision like that, you limit your creativity,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
and you know we did that. So what ended up happening was when I took over, um, I I can't remember if the songs. Yeah, the songs were all done by the time I took over, but not all of the vocals were written. So I made an intention to like add a lot more screaming than what was planned on being on the record. just because I think it's such a cool dynamic to have in metal, man. It's like it's such a cool thing to do, you know. It's just sounds super intense, and it just adds dynamic.
I agree. And maybe in the future you can experiment with another kind of voice, you know, keep growing, keep developing the sound.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I plan to, man. I definitely plan to. So
When is the album, the full length, coming out?
it comes out June 11th.
All right. So you're gonna release like a couple of singles until the full length is out.
Yeah, exactly.
And what can you tell us about this new album by Interloper? Is it gonna sound like the first EP you put out this year? Maybe better, faster, stronger.
I think better for sure. I would hope that it would be better. I hope that every album we release is better than the last. But this one specifically, just because I think that we had more focus and more understanding of what we were trying to do as a band and what we were trying to sound like. And that wasn't as much of a thing on the EP. So, yeah, I love the EP songs. I just think that, I just don't think that they were as focused as this album is, or as strong. I don't think the songs were as strong as the ones are on Search Party.
So it sounds like this new album that's coming out, it's more mature. That the band is finding their own sound, right?
I would say that, yeah. And you know, finding our sound, I think, is going to take years and years.
Yeah.
the famous Jerry Cantrell once said that your band hasn't found their sound until everybody in the band digs the fuck out of what you're doing. Until everybody just loves it and there's no problems, you know. And we do have, you know, a lot of arguments and problems. So I think that there's still some dissonance in our in what we want currently, but you know, time will pass and things will get smoother and things will get better, and then the music will be served in that way, you know.
All right. So are you gonna still play in the Faceless as a touring member when all this COVID thing is in the past?
I hope so. Yeah, I love playing in that band. I love playing and like talking about music with Michael. It's a great thing. That guy's he's a great dude. You know, I just think that now Interloper is going to be actively touring as well. So it's going to be a matter of just balancing the two.
The schedules, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens.
Because you were playing with the Faceless for over 2 years, I think, right?
Yeah, 3. I mean, it's 3 years now, but yeah.
Well, last year almost don't count.
Yeah, exactly. Like last year doesn't count, but
yeah. I was thinking like 2 hours ago that the show in Lima with the Faceless and you were there playing guitar, it was like only 1 month before the pandemic hit. It was February 2020.
Exactly. Yeah, as soon as we finished that tour, maybe a week had passed and then the lockdown happened.
Yeah.
I actually got extremely sick on that tour.
A Latin American tour?
Yep. I was in Chile and I had to go to urgent care because I thought I was dying. But I don't know that it was COVID. I don't know, but I just remember getting really sick.
but you got the same symptoms from COVID.
Yeah. I probably had it. They just didn't test for it.
Yeah, because it was too soon. It was like really early in the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, you're lucky.
So, yeah, pretty nuts.
Well, you're young, right? How old are you?
I'm 25.
25? Oh my God. Yeah, I'm 10 years older than you.
Yeah, man. I'll be there soon enough.
Take your time.
Yeah, I hear it goes by quick.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah,
So enjoy your youth.
yeah, man. I'm trying.
So last question. Well, you kind of already answered this question. What is it like to play with Michael Keene in a band?
It's great, man. I think that he is honestly, man. He's definitely one of the most creative people I've met. Um,
I agree.
and getting to know him on a deeper, on a friendlier level, like has been a very special thing, you know, for me. Just because I was in high school listening to all that music, and
Yeah.
I grew a great appreciation for it. So getting to play that stuff live with him is it's pretty insane, man. And he and I have very similar music taste.
Mm.
We are repelled by the same bands, and we follow a lot of the same bands, so that's really cool. And yeah, man,
And
he's a cool person to be in a band with.
what kind of bands do you repel?
uh I can't think of any right now, but when it does come up, we always agree.
All right, all right. Well, maybe you're the guitar player that Michael King was looking for all those years because the Faceless is pretty much a revolving door, changing
Yeah.
members all the time. But since you're saying that you guys are actually friends and you get along and you like the same stuff, well, that makes me happy actually because I want to see the Faceless like up there, right? Because
Yeah.
like you said, that guy is really creative, man. Like all those albums, especially Autotheism, is like, oh my god, when I heard that album, man. I, and my favorite band ever is Pantera. During the 90s, I was there when Pantera actually existed as a band.
Hell yeah.
So it's been like 23 years, maybe more, since I discovered them, and they are my favorite band ever. Why? The first album I listened from Pantera was Vulgar, Display of Power. And I remember the first time I listened to Autotheism, I felt the same thing that I felt when I listened to Vulgar Display of Power for the first time. It was like a revelation, man. It was like, oh my God, what is this?
That
This is
is,
so fucking awesome.
dude, that's amazing, man. And like Michael, like his music has that effect on people. It's such a
Yeah,
cool thing, man.
yeah, yeah. All over the world, for sure.
Yeah.
Even in Peru.
Yeah, dude. Yep.
Of all places. All
Yeah.
right. Is there anything you want to add to wrap up this interview?
Um, yeah, sure. I mean, to anybody watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to me ramble about my music. And I hope that we can be on tour and play music for you guys sometime soon here.
Mhm. Your socials.
Oh yeah, sure. My Instagram is at TrueCult666, and yeah, that's probably the only one that matters.
All
My
right.
YouTube is just my name, Andrew Virrueta. So those two are the ones that if you're gonna go seeking me out, those are the two you wanna. Those are the two places you want to look.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Andrew. It's been a pleasure.